Well, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Today we have a special guest. I am here with Virginia, who I have been working with, and it's been an extreme pleasure to watch her professionalism. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Virginia. Virginia, tell the world about yourself.
Hi, I'm Virginia, as he just said. I am a registered mental health counseling intern and a registered marriage and family therapist intern. I've been working with Julio for a bit, like he said, and I've been working with a lot of different clients. And yeah, just having a pretty great time practicing as a counselor after graduating and really enjoying everything I do.
Now, we're going to talk about like chat GPT. I have to look at it. I can't say it for some reason. I say CPT for some reason. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, you said you are a registered mental health counseling intern and a registered marriage and family. What's the difference? Or what does that mean?
So what that means is, so a registered mental health counseling intern, typical counselor, they can still do family counseling. It just may mean that maybe that's not their specialty or the label that they want to use for themselves. Then a marriage and family therapist intern, typically we do a couple extra courses in family couples related information, and that's how we're able to get that title. But really, it is just how we want to market ourselves. Are we looking to work specifically with just families and couples? Maybe that's why we want to hold that title. But either title doesn't mean that you can't do one or the other. Both can still practice with whatever population
Oh,
they
what
want
is
to
it's two
practice with.
different so it's two different licenses you're going for, basically.
Yes,
Because I work with
yes. And
counselors, as you know. And this is the first time I see both. Like I always see one or the other. This is the first, so that's two different licenses. What? Why? Why are you gonna kill yourself more? That's hard. What's up?
well, honestly, one, it's a sense of accomplishment just for me personally. I think
Nice.
that's why a lot of my peers and I do it, just to feel like, yeah, we have both. And because I enjoy working with, families and couples and doing marriage counseling, but I'm also not just limited to that. So I want to market myself with both titles so people don't feel that they are limited with me one way or the other.
Got it. Well, congrats to you. That's a lot of work. I couldn't get
Thank
one.
you.
I don't know if you know. I was gonna do the counseling thing. I did 2 years
Really?
in the master's program. No,
Hmm.
1 year. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because it's a lot of work. It's not only the school, and you guys that's the process you're in. When a lot of people hear the registered intern, they think, well, they're still no, they went through the whole training, but now it's like the
Yeah.
extra step. So, I give it up to you guys to do that. I love the field, but I can't do it's too much for me. So we are
Yeah.
here to talk about a subject, right? Like it's everywhere. This thing is everywhere, right? We're going to talk about chat GPT.
GPT.
What's up? So you were very excited about the subject. Why?
I was excited about it because I think that there's kind of a lot of hate surrounding using ChatGPT in terms of counseling. And I think that it could be a little misguided. I don't think ChatGPT is the end of therapy. I don't think it's a replacement for therapy, but I think that together we can use it as a tool, as a resource, right? Not just for therapists, but for clients too, and use it in combination together to produce better results.
Yeah, I was one of those. I was like I think it's more fear. I was scared of it. Like,
Yeah.
what does this mean? So now we all gotta like ask something I don't, I'm old. I'm like 102 years old. So it's really hard for me to get on it. But I've been using it now a little bit and it's a tool. That's what I'm seeing
Hmm.
too. Like I'm using it even in the work, you know,
Yeah.
in the work that I do when I do consulting. I thought it was gonna replace me. No, it doesn't. There's still things that you need a human for. So okay, so let's talk about it in the mental health. You said it's a something good, something positive,
Hmm.
maybe. Why?
Yes.
How can someone use it in their mental health?
So, in the positive aspect, I think as counselors, we can use it as a tool to maybe help come up with ideas, right? And then using our education and our background to figure out, okay, is this actually a good idea backed by research and evidence, right? But for example, I used it, I'm doing bibliotherapy with somebody. And what that means is using books and stuff as a form of education and therapy. And I had ChatGPT help me make a reading outline on what we should read every week. Of course, then I input my own things in there that I like maybe a little bit better, but it gave me a starting. So I was able to come up with an entire plan, and by myself, maybe that would take me an hour, but I was able to do it in like 20 minutes. And so that
Because
allows me, yeah. And so that allows me to be able to do more things for my clients at once because it's not consuming so much of my time.
got it. And there are other there's that Grok thing. Google has Gemini now that helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of, but that's the big one. The so do you see any like pitfalls with this thing? Like what in counseling as a professional that has trained, like is there any danger to people using this for that?
Yes, definitely. I think that there's a lot of dangers out there if we're not properly educating people or guiding people on how to use it. For counselors, for example, HIPAA. You have to make sure if you're using it, it's not because you're putting client information on it, right? We have to be careful. You're using it for your own research, maybe on things that ideas that you want to try, but we're not using it to input client data. And then on the client side of it, right, ChatGPT is not programmed to handle people that might be experiencing psychosis or delusions or self harm or thoughts of hurting themselves, right? Because it's not programmed to handle that. So that's where we kind of need that human touch. And there's actually a couple instances out there already of people harming themselves because of something ChatGPT told them when they were sharing that information, or ChatGPT feeding into people's psychosis or delusions because it doesn't know anything except what you input in there.
Of course, yeah, it's just a soundboard, whatever you're telling
Yeah,
it, you know? And
exactly.
it doesn't matter if it's a good if it's giving you a good path or not, it's gonna give you the path you are enjoying or talking about more because that's what it's designed to do, right? So yeah, I do see that. I tried it. I tried. Carolina, right? Well, my wife is a counselor, so I'm like, let's try it real quick. I hit the button and I asked. I was actually very surprised. It might be that I'm using it wrong, but it always ended up to go to a counselor. It always
Yeah,
ended in telling me like to go to a mental health specialist. It would give me some like techniques like breathe or you know what I mean, small things, but it would always end
yeah,
there. I even gave it a complication. I said that that I hate my daughter and I never want to talk to her again because she's wearing red shoes. I remember that. I thought it was gonna give me something. You know what it told me? To go see a counselor. I was like, what? What am I paying you for? No. So yes, like have you seen results or people that come to you that are using it and you see that they're using it as a tool with you? Is that something that's going on?
I haven't seen that personally with my clients, but I have heard other of my peers talk about how that has been the case. And I think the important thing as counselors is not to dismiss it, right? Because it can be a good tool. So, like you were saying, it could give you breathing techniques. It's really good at cognitive restructuring if you need it for something basic. In session, you talk to your counselor about CBT, which is a type of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. A big thing in that is cognitive restructuring, changing our negative thoughts to more realistic thoughts. ChatGPT can maybe help you work through that exercise until you kind of get the hang of it, right? But that's using it in conjunction with a therapist. And, ChatGPT is limited. So it kind of pulls directly from mindfulness type of interventions, cognitive behavioral therapy. And so it's limited in the types of therapy that it can pull from to provide you assistance. So people that are only using ChatGPT might think that's the only option, but really, if you spoke to a counselor, there might be so many other options out there that might work better for you.
And not only that, I think so. I don't know how much you know, but I had a lot of. I come from a lot of trauma, like a lot of traumas. I look like looking back, I can't imagine when I had those moments going in there and asking it for. I think it would have made it worse for me. I needed a person to call somebody
Hmm.
for me. You know what I'm trying to say? So I do
Yeah.
see that danger as well. But I do, like you said, I think it's a good tool. I'm using it now
Hmm.
too, and it does make things easier. So much
Yeah.
easier. So okay, so what do you think is the future of this thing? If you had to guess.
I think that there's a lot of applications for it in the future with counseling. I think maybe assigning homework for clients to utilize ChatGPT to practice a skill. Especially because AI now has people like you can talk to an AI person and it can see your
Yeah.
face.
Like
Uh,
they look real too. What the? Yeah.
yeah, so maybe your counselor can say, "Hey, why don't you role play what you would like to say to this person using AI at home, and then when you come back into session, we could talk about how it went, how you felt, what happened." Right? So kind of using it in that way and maybe using it to help us, right? Maybe we can't come up with one goal that we thought for a treatment plan. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm working with depression. What are some good general goals for that? And then you can spark an idea through that and kind of use it, right? Things like that, I think it could be very great for.
Yeah, I mean, and we would be foolish to not like this is a tool. We would be foolish to not use it for. I mean, we've always used technology to better ourselves. Oh, okay, that was awesome. Thank you for you talked about an article. What did you see? You mentioned an article that you read about the subject.
I actually read a couple articles,
Which one was
and they
the
all
biggest one? Like not the biggest one, like the
the
what?
biggest one. I think that there were two that stood out to me. One because it was scientific. A neat title of the article is something like "Scientists say AI is better than real therapists," and so that piqued my attention. I wanted to see both
Ooh, oh
sides,
boy.
right?
Yeah.
And so I read through it, and it was saying that they did a study where people got responses from a therapist or ChatGPT, but they didn't know which one was which. And most of the time, people liked the ChatGPT response because it was more detailed and offered more information. But they picked it more when they thought it was a therapist. They didn't realize it was coming from
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
that's great. That's actually great information right there, right? Because it again, you need they when they thought it was a therapist, they need the human. That's part of the healing, whatever y'all call it, healing stuff, right? You talk to another person, you get
Yes.
the visual and what. But they did like the answers. But I think that's the way it's designed, right? It's designed to give you what you like.
Yeah, and I definitely think in the
That what works.
beginning, yeah, in the beginning, it's going to feel like it's better because it's going to give you a bunch of information. It's a robot. It remembers everything that you inputted
Yeah.
in there. Maybe a therapist might forget one thing that you said in the paragraphs of things that were said, right? So in the beginning, I think it definitely can look better. But another research paper that I read said, I think, a valid point. It's lacking in its ability to be creative, notice patterns that are unsaid, right? Recognize behaviors, recognize body language, and putting ideas together that weren't already there, which is exactly
Yeah.
what a therapist does,
Yep.
right? We link things together that maybe people don't realize is impacting the other. And ChatGPT won't be able to do that because it can only go based off the information that was provided to it.
Nah, yeah, no new ideas. Just just
Yes,
the same thing again in a structured way, right? That's
exactly.
all it's doing.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So now a little bit about you. So who who do you see, or what type of people are your ideal clients?
Yeah, so I work with any population. Honestly, I'm very open to all areas. I see teens, I see kids, I see older adults, couples, families, so the whole range of everything. I really like to tailor what I do specific to the person sitting in front of me, which is why I don't feel limited to a specific population because I'm not doing the same intervention over and over again. Like, for example, working with couples is a very niche thing for counselors, but for me, it can feel like I'm kind of doing the same thing over and over. So I really like being able to, one time I'm here with a kid playing a game, and then the next session I'm more doing talk
Got it.
therapy sitting with an adult, and so it's always fresh, it's always new. I'm always learning from clients because I'm seeing so many different types of people.
Got it. So the changing, yeah, I can see because you guys sometimes go like back to back to back to back. I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine. I don't. I don't know how you guys do it, but yes. So that's cool. So what would you tell someone that is thinking about getting like mental health services, but is on the edge? Not that's the wrong word. That's on the fence on whether to do it or not.
Well, I think I would say the truth, right? I'm not going to say that you're going to find a perfect counselor for you immediately and have all your answers solved. I would say that finding a therapist is kind of like dating. You got to go through a couple people before you find the one that's right for you.
That's
And
right.
that's because, like what I was saying, every counselor is different. We all bring something personal of ourselves with us in our style. And so someone's style might not be a good fit, but that doesn't mean that there isn't someone out there that would be. You know, most counselors offer free 15-minute consultation calls. I know I
Yes.
do that. And so that could be a perfect thing to make sure you're taking advantage of. Take those free 15-minute calls so you can ask all the questions that you want and make sure that this person really is the right fit for you. And don't be afraid to tell them that they're not if you have a couple sessions with them and realize it's not working. Most counselors would be receptive to that and provide you resources of other counselors that you could try that are not them.
But I didn't even think about that because I administer in that area. That yeah, that could be doing I've always wondered why I always do consultations for my when I'm switching, right? But yeah, I never thought
Hmm.
about that because if they don't like you, or not that they don't like, they don't feel the fit. How do they
Yeah.
tell you? Yeah, I can see how that's a bit uncomfortable. So yeah, but you guys are used to that. It's a fit. It has to. It's not. It's impossible for one counselor to fit everyone. It's people, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
exactly.
Yeah, that's good to tell people. We know. Just be cool. Just the point is that you're trying. You're finding somebody. What got you into the mental health field?
Okay. So what got me into the mental health field was honestly going through my own mental health. I've always struggled with ADHD since I was a kid. And I always felt kind of different. I always struggled to figure out what my place was, what I wanted to do, especially with school, because with ADHD, it's all went in one ear, out the other. Um, so
Yes, immediately.
yeah,
It
exactly.
exit. I call it the noggin exit. It just leaves. Sorry.
That's funny. Yeah, there's too many things going on up there for
Yeah,
everything to stick, you know. So I kind of ended up following what my parents were doing. They all did things in like marketing, public relations, communications kind of thing. And I started taking classes for that. I was so bored out of my mind in those classes. And I, you know, started to struggle with my own depression and kind of lacking that sense of purpose. And I actually ended up hospitalized myself years ago,
wow.
and going through that experience really showed me that our mental health system is not ideal and is not
No.
promoting everybody's well being. Right. When I was there, it was all band aids, right? Here's a medication that's going to kind of
Mhm.
numb you out so that we don't have to deal with you, you know, or not giving people their clothes because, of course, the nurses, they have to go through people's clothes, make sure there's no strings or anything people can use. But there was a delay in providing that. And with someone struggling with depression, something as basic as having some clothes that are theirs could make that difference instead of a hospital gown,
Got it.
right? So kind of going through that really showed me what was missing. And from there, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I switched my major to psychology and I never looked back.
So ADHD. So I'm also a professional with ADHD. Right? And how did you? I think one of the hardest things to understand. Well, one of the harder things to understand for me has been like getting through school, getting through with ADHD. Right. So how did you do it? How did you get through school with with
Yeah,
ADHD?
it was definitely hard, and I can't take all the credit. I gotta give my mom some of that credit because she sat with me. She sat with me. She would be like, "Okay, walk around while you're reading your textbook." She would make me do it. She would sit with me and go through the material and kind of like force me to do it. And now I know why that worked. It's something called body doubling, right? That's a technique
Wait,
for
but she
people
knew.
with
So you knew
ADHD.
young. You knew young, or when did you? If you don't mind, when did you find out? I'm just curious.
I don't remember the exact age I was diagnosed, but I was young.
Not
It
age.
was when I was a little kid.
Oh, so she knew this, and she had
Yes.
techniques to. Ah, go, mom. That is amazing.
And
That's
it's
amazing.
interesting because back then she didn't know these were the techniques, right? She was
But
just
she was
going off
doing it.
her
She's
gut.
mom. What
So
do you mean didn't know? They
exactly.
know. They know. That's their thing. So that was
Wow.
really good. Yeah, the body double. Yeah, that was. I found that as an adult. So, it,
Hmm.
so yeah. Talk about more of these things. More what else she did.
Yeah. So the bodily doubling, which we didn't know we were doing that at the time, but it's when somebody's there with you.
Hmm.
It helps kind of give you that motivation if you're both sitting next to each other doing work. Um, Other techniques, movement. So my mom made me walk around while I was reading the textbook, right? I'm doing it right now. I have a fidget toy in my
Me
hand.
too. That's why I got.
So kind of having things to occupy that distracted part of yourself so that the focus part of yourself can focus. And I also think one of the biggest struggles I see with people that are neurodivergent is accepting that we cannot do things the same as other people. If we keep
Yeah.
trying to force ourselves to do the standard way of doing things, we're going to constantly be
That's
frustrated.
the biggest one, I think. I think that you hit it. That's like the biggest one, because it's not gonna work. No matter how
Yeah,
much you try, it's not gonna work. And I
exactly.
think the issues that we're in, like in a society where we're all trying to be normal, so we get
Yeah,
it, and it happens without knowing. And that was the biggest key for me. Like just do it the way you do it. It don't matter what anybody thinks, says, or it is what it is. It's getting done. That's what matters. Okay, so what else do you
yeah.
think someone with ADHD as a professional, what else do you think they should know that can help them?
I think something that people don't think about, which I do in my day to day, that really helps me, it's a small thing, is if you don't see it, it doesn't exist. Right? So my fridge, all the vegetables, they're not in the designated vegetable drawer. They are on the side shelves because I open the fridge and I see them. Instead, my condiments are in the drawers because that's something I need to think about if I want it. Right? So I think that's another thing is adjusting those small daily things that you don't even think about. That can make your life so much easier. Like my laundry basket, it's baskets like this already separated. One is colors, one is blacks. I have to do my laundry less because it's bigger and they're already in the different piles. I can just throw it in there.
Don't even try no more. I got married for that because I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, I get dressed because I change what I wear because I have a wife. It's just uh but I didn't know these are what you're talking about. I didn't know these techniques. I just thought I was weird. So I went throughout a whole life not being able to stop moving, having the
Mm-hmm.
highs of energy and then the dumps of the energy, all of these things. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know uh until now. So yeah, those are really good. I like it. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so what if somebody wants to be a counselor? What should they do tomorrow?
Okay. Well, if
No, wait,
somebody
wait. I
wants
got
to,
a better one. I got a better one.
okay.
How do you know you're a counselor?
How do you know you're
Oh,
a counselor?
see, I dropped the mic. No, I'm playing. How do you know? How do you know? Like, because that's like not the type of career. It's not a flashy. You know what I'm saying? It's not what you see on TV as a
Yeah.
millionaire walking around. It's a specific type of person to do this, right? So, how do
Yeah.
you, if a person is thinking about careers, what would tell them that this might be something they want to look at?
I think there's a lot of things. A lot of times, counselors, we naturally have certain qualities. You might be, more empathetic than other people. You might really be able to see other people's perspectives more. You might notice things that other people don't notice, right? Like right now with what's going on in the world, maybe you notice that this is impacting people's well-being, and that's something that people don't talk about, right? You're kind of connecting the dots and things that influence people that other people maybe don't notice. Um, Maybe your friends tell you, "Oh, you're my go-to person when I talk about my problems." It's something that a lot of counselors have in common.
Yes,
But even if none,
everyone that I interview says that was the like kind of the starting point there. Yeah, good. Sorry.
yeah. But honestly, even if that's not you, just having that passion for wanting to help people and the patience to do it. Because I think one thing that people don't talk about is the toll that being a counselor takes. It's exhausting, it's draining. You really have to know how to regulate yourself because sometimes people sitting in front of you will be a reflection of yourself, of someone else in your life, of something that you've gone through, and that's going to bring things up. So, kind of really being able to reflect within yourself on those things when they come up.
Yeah, and I mean it's a rough career. You guys have to go through a period of working for free and everything, bro. I think that's when I dropped out and changed my degree to business. Where we were in that class, I was going with Carolina to school. I was going with her,
Well,
and then they said they were explaining that part of it, and I'm like, and I'm like, what? I asked her like, what do you mean for free? And she's like, yeah, you gotta like do a certain amount of hours of unpaid, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, I gotta go. It was over. I couldn't do it. I couldn't
yeah.
do it. It takes, and not because of the free part, but you're committed to it. So I don't mind doing
Uh-huh.
something for free here and there, but you're telling me it's like a full-time job. Then you got to get another job. And so the fact that you guys do it shows a lot. That's why I say it has to be a different type of person. So, okay. So anything you would like the world to know about you before we go?
World to know about me, that if you're interested in doing counseling with me, I'm very interested to do it with you. I'm very kind of go with the flow of who's in front of me kind of counselor. I'm not going to follow a specific intervention or theory. I'm going to go with whatever works best for you. I'm always going to ask you, maybe give you different options. You always have the right to choose from them.
Right.
And I am a direct person, so I always accept that from others as well. I always tell my clients, hey, if you don't like something, if something that I'm doing is not working for you, you tell me. I always say, like, you could say, Virginia, stop talking. This doesn't even make any sense. um, because at the end of the day, you are the expert of you and your
Yeah.
life.
Say it again.
You know,
I
you
like
are the
that.
expert of you. And
Yeah.
I'm just there to help you figure things out in the way that works best for you, not to tell you what you need to do.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you're doing good work. You're doing good work. You're getting like good stuff done. I mean, it's pretty cool. So, what do you think about the future of mental health?
The future of mental health. I definitely think that we're already kind of in the future of mental health, right? Because its importance has increased significantly in the past few years,
Yes.
especially since COVID. Um, And I just think integrating it more, right? We should be offering it with jobs. Insurances should be covering it no matter what it's for, right? It should be a normal part of our lives, which I think is the piece that we're working towards. And doing it in a way where we can also provide counselors with a good quality of life as well. Because I think what happens is, we really want to help people, we really want to be there for people, but we also have to survive too.
Yeah,
And so kind of finding a way
the
to
balance.
balance that, and kind of I think we're still in the process of figuring that out.
Yep, definitely. Well, anything else you want to add?
No, I feel just taking that step to call and make an appointment is very brave, and just doing that, you should give yourself credit. So if you're somebody
Yay!
that just wants to pick up the phone and make that appointment, you got this.
Yes, it is brave. It is brave to say you need help. That is one of the bravest things you could
Hmm.
do. But
Yeah.
once you do it, man, the world opens up. So, well, thank you for joining us. I'll go ahead and put all your information and link to your page and everything. If you're interested, I know her personally. She's pretty cool. She's good people's, and she gets it done.
Thank
She
you.
goes in, she comes in here. She doesn't be like canceling 500 times. She actually comes in and gets it done. She likes what she has a passion for what she does. Highly recommend it. Thank you, Virginia, for joining me. It was awesome, and have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of
Bye.
course.